Spain versus Portugal just ended, and that was a pretty bad match. I went in with higher expectations, and coming out of we deserved more out of those two teams. It was I don't know how two teams can manage to make that many missed passes and just bad choices in a game. It was unfortunate. I think the Portuguese and the Spanish teams will be looking at themselves and saying that was a bad match. We played bad match. And even though it was only 1-0, I think that probably could have went to overtime easily with the way both teams playing. Both teams couldn't get anything offensively done. Let me pull up the screen here. So yeah, they only won 1-0. Mikel Merino, really good pass to him, I'll be honest. That was outstanding. Pass by, who was it again? Is he going to tell me? I'm looking at the wrong side. Whoops. Yeah, Fernan Torres, really good pass to pick out Mikel Merino, and just caught both Diaz and Viega just ball watching and sleeping. None of them made a move to defend him, and he just had a 1v1 with Dio Costa, who I think had a pretty good game. He made those two really good saves, one stopping Yamal, and then the other one, which is even better than the one he saved, Yamal's save, was against Baena, who is fully stretched, getting right back up after and saving that one, which is really good from him. I think Diego Costa will be let down from what he did. He had 5 saves, played really well. I think João Felix, I don't know what happened to João Felix. He is just a shell of what he was when he played for Benfica. He's just been passed around like a dirty rag from team to team, and nobody can seem to get the best out of him like Benfica did a half a decade or so ago now. Nuno Mendes did not look like the back-to-back Champions League final winner that we've seen. Unfortunately, came off injured after blocking a chance or a cross. Vitinha, same thing. A lot of sideways passing. Not much else going forward from him. Ruben Neves, I think, did pretty well. I think he was better than his other teammates in Mendes and Vitinha. I thought he actually was trying to get something out of the game going forward. Bruno Fernandes, I feel like he should have been more creative. He was. I think it was the fact that Spain was so set up defensively that it was hard for him to get anything out of it. Because when I was watching the game, Spain was really robust in their back line. They had their position set. They were not moving at them. They weren't making reckless challenges. Really hard to break down. When you have a player like Rodri and Pedri running that midfield, it's going to be hard to break them down. Marco Correa and Pedro Porro really made it hard for João Felix and Pedro Neto to do something on the wings and get out of it. Ronaldo, zero service up front. He tried to make a couple chances. One of them where he shot near post against Unai Simon, which was saved. Another one where he kind of did like a back heel sort of motion kick, trying to get it into goalwards. Saved by Unai Simon somewhat comfortably. Had to scramble towards it, but didn't have enough power to go anywhere near the net. And it kind of made Laporte and Kubasari's job kind of easy, I guess, to say. That they didn't have much to do because Portugal just couldn't break down the midfield of Spain. They were really good at gobbling up any loose balls and making good challenges on the Portuguese. But I think the front line of Almo and Orzabal will be scrutinized a little bit in the way they played. That they got outshone by the wingers. I don't know if that's because when I was watching it, they didn't pass it to them as much as I thought, or if they just couldn't get that many good chances or good looks. Because Portugal were also pretty good defensively. It was just two teams who were really good defensively, but both of them couldn't get much going forward up until Miko Marino scored. Stat-wise, pretty even for the most part. Portugal had 5 more shots. majority of them were a good like third of them were on target. Portugal just couldn't get any shot on target for the life of them. They had one really big chance missed, which I think that was the Ronaldo one. I don't know. I was basically falling asleep for most of this game. I think the water break really did ruin the flow of this game for the most part because it kind of into a lull. Like both teams knew the water break was happening, and then it happened. The game took forever to get back up to speed, and then the same thing happened in the second half. Or like this water break happened after Spain were doing a lot with the ball, and then it killed the game for like another 10 minutes almost. So it's another downside of the water breaks, but what can you do? Uh, Spain were pretty good attacking, like I've said, but it took forever for them to do anything with the ball. Both teams just had a hard time breaking down, and there's not much to talk about, honestly, beyond that in the game sense. Spain now go to play the winner of USA Belgium, which has so much controversy surrounding it, which I'll probably talk about after that game concludes tonight. But for Ronaldo, I think it's just I think he will be a bit hard done by his team to go out in such a whimper almost that his team didn't really back him up, didn't give him a lot of chances. Yeah, he's 41. He's not got the legs had from like 6 years ago or even from the last World Cup. But I feel like he did play better in this World Cup than he did in Qatar 4 years ago. But still, I feel like Portugal needed better wingers. I feel like they should have brought on uh, Rafael Leao earlier. They should have brought on. They should have never brought on Bernardo Silva. He is washed. He was washed watching him play. He did nothing except for just make rough challenges. Got a yellow card for stupidly body checking somebody. I don't know why they didn't bring on Gonzalo Ramos, who I think is arguably their better striker, or even just a better attacker than one of these two in Pedro Neto or João Felix. I would have taken João Felix off and maybe had a two up top with Ronaldo maybe being like a shadow striker-y kind of thing, or maybe Gonzalo Ramos being a shadow striker-y, and then Fernandes and Neto both being like kind of that cam, playing a 4-2-2-2 almost. But I'm not a football coach, but I feel like Roberto Martinez should have done better with the talent pool he has. It's arguably one of the best talented pools that Portugal have right now. And I think Roberto Martinez might be under review for his position because right now we've seen so many national team managers be cut. Jurgen Klopp's now coming in for Julian Nagelsmann. Reports are saying Ronald Koeman was ousted, and apparently Arne Slot now might be joining them. There's so many teams that, and especially in Europe, that who are looking to make that next step towards the World Cup are now changing managers and looking for better world-class managers who might get something better out of the game. And I think Roberto Martinez might be next up on that block. I don't know who's available per se to maybe get something like that. Maybe Pep Guardiola. I don't know if he's waiting for the Spain job, but I don't think Luis Fuente is going to be leaving anytime soon. So maybe they get Guardiola in at Portugal, get something maybe out of that team, because Guardiola's played with or worked with a few of those players. Cancelo, Ruben Diaz, who else has he worked with that's there? Bernardo Silva, if he's still there, come Euros, if he does come in. And I think Matheus Nunes, I think he's still there, yeah. So, that's another player. Matheus Nunes, I don't know why they didn't play him either at all this World Cup. Played really well in quite a few City games. Obviously, he's not going to be probably better than Ruben Neves or Vitinha, but I feel like he could have came on to help freshen up that midfield. And maybe when it's getting later to like the 69, 75th, around that time frame, you bring on someone like Matheus Nunes to be that new workhorse to get the ball going the new box-to-box kind of midfielder, roughhousing it kind of. But yeah, Portugal out on a whimper. Spain power through. Maybe something will happen. Maybe a miracle will happen, and Spain can continue to keep powering through these games while even looking not the best they have, and maybe they can get to the final.